Hey guys, your Daily Vanguard's back. I know I've been gone for about 2 weeks or so. I got really sick over the Thanksgiving break, so I apologize for not uploading any videos. But luckily, I'm feeling a lot better now, and I want to do this video and talk about, or start a conversation about deck building and why a lot of people have a lot of struggles and problems with deck building. It's kind of weird. I've met a lot of people who are just not knowing what exactly they should put in their decks and what card's a good ratio of being at 4 and what card's good at being at 3 or 2 or 1 or whatever. So I just wanted to clear a few things up with that, and hopefully all you guys can engage with me in discussions and in comments below so we can have some good feedback and talk about this. And I can just make follow-up videos as time goes on. But let's start off with deck building. So in a game like Cardfight Vanguard, a lot of the times you probably should be playing cards at 4. A few cards can be played at 3, but a lot of cards should be playing at 4 because those are the cards that you want to see the most often. And because cards can either end up in, depending on your deck, depending on, let's say a normal deck like Royal Paladins, right? Cards will either end up being ridden, so they'll end up in your soul. They're either in deck, or they're in damage, or you guard with them into the drop zone. So 4 spots they can be at: deck, damage, soul, and drop zone. So with that being said, you can control the whole drop zone thing if you just choose not to guard with that card, but sometimes you can't help it. So you kind of want to play your best cards at 4, and certain other cards that aren't as valuable as that card should probably be played at 3 or 2 or 1 or less than that, you know? Perfect guards, for example, are the most valuable cards in your deck because they can block mostly every attack in the game. So those cards are obviously being played at 4 for obvious reasons. Next up, typically you have one card that you really like playing that's really good for the deck. Royal Paladins, Altmile deck has Knight of Peer, which is really powerful for the deck. So you want to see that card as often as possible, so you'll probably play that card at 4. And Stride Fighter is also really good, and you want to stride as much as possible in the deck, so you'll play that at 4. So that's already 12 cards of your grade 1s. And typically everyone plays 2 other spots for whatever. So either you play 1/1 of a card or 2 of a card, depending on your grade 1 lineup. Typically Royal Paladins don't need a lot of grade 1s. So either they'll keep it at just straight 12, 4 Stride Fighter, 4 Peers, and 4 Perfect Guards. Because you want to cut out all the fluffy cards. That's why I call them. I call them fluffy cards that don't really win you the game. They may help, but they don't necessarily do anything for your game plan. So after that, it's you choose one of each for a card, a tech card, or you choose 2 cards, Soul Blast 2, Unflip 2, you'll play at 2. So you wouldn't want to play less perfect guards to add in a 3rd copy of a card, or get rid of a peer just to play some random card 3 Soul Blast 2, Unflip 2s, you know? There's no reason to when you can just play 2 of that and 4 Peers, because Peer's going to win you a game more than that Soul Blast 2 Unflip 2 will. Next up, we have grade 2s, which typically people play 11 or 12 grade 2s, depending on if they play 8 or 7 grade 3s. A lot of decks now play 7 grade 3s because the grade 2 games are really strong these days, and you have Stride Fighter, which just lets you stride with that one card. They act as grade 3s. So for Altmile, I think people usually play 12 grade 2s or more, depending on if they play 12 grade 1s. That means you can add in more grade 2s like Technical or Starlight Violinists or Benons and things like that. And that's where the technical aspect of the deck comes in play. I typically play 4 Knight of Twin Swords because the card is my go-to card. That card's going to win me majority of my games, or at least it should. So I'll play that card at 4, and then I'll play all my other cards at either 2 apiece, or 4 Twin Swords, 4 of a superior calling card like Benon or Sword Me, and then 2 and 2 of Starlight Violinist or the 12K Attacker or something else, Because 1, Melius, my starter, Shiny Knight Melius, allows me to search for grade 2s, which means that I don't necessarily need to play 4 Twin Swords, 4 12K Attackers, 4 Benons, 4 of some other card, because I can search those cards out. But I don't necessarily want to play less than 4 Twin Swords, because that card is very important to me winning the game. I guess there is an understandable reason to play like 3 Twin Swords in some decks, but I personally love playing it at 4 because I want to draw into that card as much as possible. I don't want to like damage check a Twin Sword, ride a Twin Sword, guard with a Twin Sword, and I'm just left with 1 Twin Sword in deck, possibly. You know, damage checking cards happens. You could damage check 3 Twin Swords and be like, oh, I only have 1, but at least I had that 1 in my hand where I can call it and make plays with, you know, as opposed to 3 where I damage check all 3 and I'm out of Twin Swords and I pretty much lose the game because of that. Yeah, those are the type of things that people, in my opinion, have to really focus on when it comes to deck making. You should be considering cards that are more valuable than another card. Does X card have more value than the strategy of my deck? Like, does it achieve more than the deck itself? Like, let's look at Jewel Knight Sword Me, right? Compared to, like, Salvation Stage Benon, which are both Counterblast 1 cards, and they both reach the same stage of power early game at grade 1 through 2, 14, 16, same thing. Thing is, Benon doesn't require me to have, 1, a lot of Jewel Knights in my deck to reach its condition, and 2, Jewel Knight and damage to actually counterblast 1's superior color card. So that's why I personally like Benon over Sword Me, and that's how I value 1 card over another. But I wouldn't necessarily play Benon higher than I would play Knight of Twin Sword, because Knight of Twin Sword can superior call Benon. Benon can't superior call Knight of Twin Sword, you see? So it's little things like that I think a lot of people need to understand when it comes to deck making. You can comment below and tell me what you guys think. If you guys have different opinions, then very well, tell me. I enjoy listening to you guys. Thanks for sticking around, guys. I know it's been a while, but I'm going to try and upload a lot more regularly, or consistently now. So this has been your Daily Vanguard. Stay awesome, guys. Thanks for watching, guys. If you enjoyed this video, you can click one of the links below and see some of my other popular ones. Take a look while you have the time.